We are currently implementing the phase 3 clinical trials of the CanSinoBIO corona vaccine in Pakistan. This is a global clinical trial, and Pakistan is the first country to launch this clinical trial on September 22nd, 2020. And we are this week going to complete the recruitment of the target of the volunteers, which was 18,000. And this voluntary recruitment has been done in 5 premier medical research institutions of the country, which included the Shifa International Hospital in Islamabad, University of Health Sciences and Shaukat Khanum Hospital in Lahore, and Aga Khan University and Indus Hospital in Karachi. And these 5 research centers are being managed by the principal investigator, which is the National Institute of Health, and the other 2 key partners in this project are the CanSinoBIO, which is the manufacturer of this vaccine, and AJM Pharma Private Limited, which is the representative firm in Pakistan of CanSinoBIO. And the role of AJM Pharma is to ensure smooth implementation and facilitation of the clinical trials in Pakistan. And during these last 5 months in which this project has been implemented in Pakistan, the technical experts of CanSinoBIO have been present in Pakistan. The Chinese experts have been present here and ensuring the smooth and seamless implementation of this clinical trial. And another Chinese firm, which is the Clinical Research Organization firm, global firm, their representatives, technical experts, have also been present in Pakistan, ensuring and evaluating the progress of the clinical trial at each stage. And this global CRO firm is also ensuring smooth implementation of this global trial in the other countries, which include Mexico, Argentina, Chile, and Russia. So in all these 5 countries, including Pakistan, this clinical trial is now very actively in progress. In Pakistan, we are almost completing the 18,000 recruitments, and about 15,000 more recruitments have been done in the other countries. As far as Pakistan is concerned, we will be releasing our preliminary results in about 10 days time. But the clinical trial itself will continue for another 1 year, during which the follow-up of the 18,000 volunteers will take place. And at the end of 1 year, we will be assessing and analyzing our detailed results, and then we will have them published in some international reviewed medical journal. Yes, with almost 18,000 volunteers recruited in Pakistan so far in these 5 research centers, we have not recorded a single vaccine-related serious adverse event in any of the volunteers recruited so far. There were, however, minor side effects like low-grade fever for a couple of days, or body aches, or irritation at the local site of the injection, but nothing serious at all in any of the volunteers so far, not only in Pakistan but also in all the other 4 countries where this trial is being implemented. So as far as safety is concerned, we are very satisfied with the performance of this vaccine. And the main purpose or objective of this clinical trial is to now judge the efficacy and effectiveness of this vaccine, which we are in the process of evaluating. Yes, as the representative of CanSinoBIO in Pakistan, AJM Pharma has already applied to the Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan for the grant of emergency approval use of this vaccine in Pakistan. This application is under process, and next week, when we will have our preliminary results, we will also share them with DRAP, and we hope that we will get a favorable response from this Drug Regulatory Authority. And on the basis of the approval from DRAP, the government will consider granting us approval and negotiate the import of this vaccine with our principals, that is the CanSino Bio company. And there are some other companies also which have applied to DRAP for emergency use approval. And we have to keep in mind that Pakistan is a very big country, 220 million people. So I think one or two companies will not be enough to take care of all the transfusion or immunization needs of the country. So I think we will have to select more than two or three manufacturers, I think. First of all, India has not developed its own vaccine. India has acquired the vaccine already developed by Oxford or AstraZeneca. But the important thing is that India has the infrastructure required to manufacture a vaccine. So the Serum Institute in India has entered into a collaboration with Oxford AstraZeneca, and they are manufacturing that vaccine in India. This brings down the cost substantially, and this was only possible because they already had this manufacturing capacity, and they also have a very good research development base. So I think now is a good time for Pakistan also to start thinking in those terms and focus on the development of vaccine manufacturing sector in Pakistan. There's no reason why we can't do it if India can do it. We have the technical expertise available, and if the government prioritizes this sector, we should also in due course of time be able to manufacture vaccines in the country, because we have a huge need for routine vaccines as well as other commonly used vaccines. So the market is there in Pakistan. Export potential is also there. The technical expertise is also there, but we need to develop the required infrastructure, and I think we should be working on that now. As far as the cost of the corona vaccine is concerned, the vaccine, the Sinopharm vaccine, which the government is going to acquire now, the government is going to provide it free of cost to the priority groups, which include the healthcare workers as well as elderly population. But let's see what the policy is for the rest of the population. But as far as the AJM Pharma application to DRAP is concerned, we have applied to the government for emergency use approval for rolling out this vaccine through the public sector, and also for allowing us to make it available for commercial use also for people who can afford it. Because there are a lot of people who would not prefer to go to public sector institutes for having them immunized. They would like to just go and buy it off the shelf or through some other institutions at their own convenience. So, and there's no reason why the government should provide this vaccine free of cost to everyone, because there are a lot of people who can afford to buy this vaccine, and in those cases the government should not foot the bill. Government should only provide this vaccine to those people who cannot afford it. So I think we should have a liberal policy and allow permission for more than 2 or 3 manufacturers to make their vaccines available in Pakistan, in private sector as well as public sector. I'm not sure what the pricing mechanism is there, but I think the state takes care of all the health needs of its population. So every country has a different policy. But if you just keep in mind that the diagnostic cost of one corona testing, the government has fixed it at 6,500 per test per person. So the cost of the vaccine, which will be much less than that, maybe 10% or 15% of this. So the vaccine is much less expensive than the investigation, and many people are doing their corona investigations privately. So there's no reason why they can't afford the vaccine also. But the important thing is that the vaccine must be available in the country. And it should be available in the public sector health institutes as well as in the private sector. So whoever can afford it should be able to get it through their own resources. This is a very important question. I'm not sure if I have the answer to this question. Only time will tell. But because this vaccine has been developed at a very rapid pace in these 5 or 6 different research centers, so we are at the moment looking at this season, and we hope that in the coming months and hopefully by the end of the year or in the near future, this pandemic will go away. But until that time, we need to make our population secure. So we are going to see how this immunization rolls out in different countries, and in due course of time, the researchers will find out how long is its effectiveness. And so maybe it has to be boosted up every season until the pandemic is there, or maybe 2 seasons. Only time will tell. But for the moment, the important thing is that the people should be provided vaccination who are interested in getting it. Again, very difficult question. This is something that the government has to decide. They've already decided on procuring 1.1 million vaccines from Sinopharm. We are not sure exactly when they will be arriving in Pakistan, but the government has to take these decisions quickly because this is a scarce commodity. The corona vaccine is a very scarce commodity with a huge global demand, and many countries have already made advance bookings of the vaccines which have yet to be manufactured. So we can't afford to delay. I think the government should quickly process these applications in the Drug Regulatory Authority and decide on the manufacturers as well as the quantities to be imported, and also make plans for rolling out this vaccine, because Pakistan is a very big country, and this is going to be a huge challenge. Even if the vaccine is available today, providing it to the public will not be easy. And we watch on the television that the Western countries who have all the resources in the world, even they are struggling to develop plans and programs to provide immunization to their public at a very quick pace. No, not yet. They plan to do it, but they are planning on doing phase 1 clinical trial in a couple of centers with very small number of volunteers. But every country doesn't have to do a clinical trial. They can use the results of the clinical trials of the same vaccine done in other countries. You don't have to do your own clinical trial. Every country doesn't have to do its own clinical trial.